Prophetess Jamillah Gooden. This lady right here is in the mouths of many.
I am probably one of the most disliked persons in the gospel because people don't know me. He was a bishop, but he was a very serious abusive man. He was an abuser. I never will forget the blood fell on me. This is my fourth husband.
That's a pretty honest statement.
Hey. It was wrong when I walked off the pulpit.
Anything you would ever take back?
Hell yeah. I would take back that moment. I'm free. I'm not loose. I didn't make myself. God did.
What'd your husband say?
You have to ask him.
Hey, what's up? I was just checking out my YouTube analytics and I'm really kind of surprised. You know what? Maybe you thought you were subscribing. You know, YouTube would do crazy stuff and they'll unsubscribe you, this, that, and the other. But do me a favor, please. You already know the song and dance. The more people subscribe, the more it gets pushed out. I really want this content to get pushed out. So if you think you've subscribed, check and make sure. If you haven't subscribed, don't make YouTube analytics think elsewise. All right, back to the episode. Welcome to another episode of Legacy Conversations. So glad that you tuned in. Today we got another banger. You're going to like this one. This lady right here is in the mouths of many. Welcome, if you would, with me, Prophetess Jamillah Gooden. Hey, lady.
Hey, I don't know. You like in the mouths of many.
In the mouths of many, what you mean?
When people call me and they say that, I'm like, okay, what did I do? What did I do
when
now?
They say what?
I think the whole...
Oh, the mouths of many? That part?
The mouths of many. I get nervous when people say like the mouth of many because the mouths of many indicates that there's a conversation. So now there's a legacy conversation. So I'll take that.
Okay. All right. And so that's the whole part of legacy conversations. Yeah. It is helping people to establish their legacy more deliberately by looking at others' successes, trials, failures, victories. And we all have a legacy, whether we like it or not. Let me ask you this. Yeah. How would you define legacy?
Biblically, the Bible says a wise man leaves an inheritance for his children's children. And so when you want to leave an inheritance, you have to leave something through the lineage. And so legacy for me, because it really different. You could say leave like some sort of business. I get that. But legacy, I would rather people know the character behind me and let that be a legacy. That I left something that people do not believe in today, integrity. If I could pass down integrity, then I've done my job leaving something. Because you can leave money to kids, you can leave a business, it doesn't mean that they want to do it. But if you can leave something that they can build from the characteristics of who they are and where they came from, with good character brings integrity, you can build anything. I think people fail because they lack the understanding of real character.
So do you think that, have you been deliberately establishing your legacy, whether you would call it that in the past or, yet even now, right? Do you think you have been deliberate in what you're establishing?
I am being very deliberate. I am being very intentional. And sometimes, as a matter of fact, in this, I don't even want to call it the gospel or just being a person. It's difficult. We live in a different time, a different era. We live in a maverick society. And that's why I'm big on integrity. I'm big on being integrous. I'm big on leaving something that my kids could say, my mother taught me this. Because the Bible says that in the last day, right, men shall be lovers of themselves. So there's a level of selfishness and people are cold-hearted. But if I can really, really dig into leaving the character and the integrity of who their mother is, then I've built something.
Do you think that being a woman has helped you to fight through the deliberate establishment of legacy? How I guess, and wrap it in this context. What has ministry done to you and your legacy?
I can be candid, right?
Please, let me tell you something.
When it comes to world,
when it comes to legacy conversations, it only works if we are transparent. So I want you to be as transparent.
I'm going to be as
possible.
I've been ordained for transparency. I told Bishop George Bloomer that it is the hardest thing in the world being a woman in ministry, and that's something that people do not really want to address. And I'm so glad that you asked me that. It is a big difference when you're a woman in ministry and you're building. It is very different when you're inheriting. Because women in ministry have it harder than men because this is a man's world, right? And so now when you're building something, you have so many things against you. You have two things. This is what I say. I'm an African-American woman. I'm a woman. A lot of times what people don't see is the backside of females in ministry. We have the women who are jealous and the men that want to take your clothes off. And now some women too. So the fight is different now than it was back then. People don't want to talk to you. They rather speak even to my husband. They come to my husband, they start talking. Bishop Fred. And he says she's the founder. I had a bishop come to my church, and he was cool until he found out I was the founder.
How silly that is.
Women have it so hard. I'm not speaking about Christian nationalism. We won't do that, right? But we live in a society where that is so broadcast. We live in a society where social media. You see everything. You can attack somebody easily because they don't believe you're supposed to be a woman in ministry. But the building process, that's what people don't talk about. Because building a ministry as a female, they do not want to give you the information for success. You have to figure it out yourself.
Gatekeeping. All right. So now in building a ministry, there used to be a time when you say building a ministry, a building was actually associated with it.
Right.
Or building a ministry from, your preaching, from your prophetic gift or whatever your gifting is. Today, when we start talking about building a ministry, this is ministry.
Yeah, it's different.
But then also, not only is there the building, the establishing of order in a place, but then you've also got to consider the online building.
Yeah.
How have you built? Tell me about Chronicles.
See, that's the thing. A lot of people don't understand. And people say, well, how did you do this? Or what happened? I was going to work. I was actually in Jersey. And the Lord said, pull the car over. I want to speak to the nation. And the first video I did, now it's about 48 million, I believe, saw it, 385,000 shares or something. And after that, he said, keep speaking. And I did. And the online ministry happened. Then he said, how's the people? And so now what we have is a dynamic and a shift of how we're doing church. And you either embrace it or not. But the online audience started before the people in the brick and mortar building. I started the first church with 300 people. And that came from an online audience. And so the online audience is something that, I love. I do. But I think a lot of times what happens with the online audience, they have an expectation when you're doing conferences or even when you're in the building. So they have a vantage point because they see you online. But a lot of pastors and a lot of leaders do not understand that it's the online audience that really carries the church. It's the online ministry that is the clarion call that we're in the brick and mortar building. And so whether you like it or not, we live in a society where the online ministries is doing more than the people inside of the building.
So have you built your digital ministry Well, let's look at two. So you've got the brick and mortar and you've got a digital ministry.
Right.
What I'm hearing you say is that you've built your brick and mortar ministry
Right.
by the fruit of your digital ministry.
Exactly. And today, this is just my opinion. I believe today, this is how a lot of leaders could or should or even take advantage of the opportunity to have an online audience. Because this is the way of the world. Look at AI. Look at what's happening. Right? And even though I'm on TikTok, I just started TikTok a couple of months ago. It's almost 30,000 people. I just started it. But I remember when I first started doing Facebook, I first started doing it on Facebook and Facebook only. It was like 10,000 people watching at a time.
Why? Why were they watching?
One thing about the anointing draws. It draws. However, there's a formula.
Facebook draws?
Yeah.
But I mean, Facebook ain't drawing no 10,000 people at one time.
Favor draws, anointing draws, however, character does. I believe that a lot of people do not understand that you've got to have something to draw the people. And I'm sorry, I got to say it. It's not me. I can hit the button right now and the numbers are, people think that I pay for numbers. I don't. And when the Lord told me, pull the car over, I want to speak to the nation. This is something that I say. If God said it, we should see it. And so he said, pull the car over. And this is what you see.
I think I'm going to add something, at least for me.
Absolutely.
I'm not overlaying this on you.
No, it's okay.
But assignment draws. Because there are a lot of people on doing digital ministry that have something to say. They got good microphones.
Right.
They got, good cameras and 4K cameras and, and they have a solid word. They're passing on solid information. I'm not just talking about ministry. I'm talking about other areas.
Oh, yeah.
So I see the uncommon favor that is coming from your obedience to the Lord. Car Chronicles.
Right.
So that's why the Lord pulled you over. Did you go live when he told you?
I did.
Okay.
I did.
Right. That is so cool. He tells you to pull the car over.
Yeah.
Does he tell you to pull the car over and to go live? Or does he say pull the car
over? I want to speak to the nation because I always had my cell phones. And so I had my phones and I would just do things, here and there. And I put the phone on a dashboard and it was 10,000 people. And every day I can pull my phone out and I can give a message when the Lord says speak. And log off, and it'll be 20,000 people on one platform. And then I go to another platform. I did TikTok yesterday. It was 8,000 people. And it is an uncommon favor of God, right? People want me to go and do Instagram as well. And so as much as I want to do all of this, I'm one person. I'm a wife, I'm a mother, I'm a grandma, I run the church. So I'm trying to navigate this all.
I'll help you. When things are over, I'll give you a tool that will keep you from having to do everything at the same time because that's easy. That's easy. And
it's a responsibility.
A responsibility, but getting to all the platforms at once, somebody's had to figure it out. And I think I can help you with that. Right. So Car Chronicles, how long have you been doing it?
10 years.
Wow.
10 years.
When did you see the biggest spike in your audience? Let's stop there.
The biggest spike, that's kind of hard to say because every day it's a big spike. Because when you click, tag, and share at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, your time all over the world, someone has shared it. So I can't even say. Yesterday, I can tell you the numbers, maybe 10,000 on one platform. And so it varies, especially the message. The message, when you tap into the vein of God and he says this, say this, and you do exactly what he says, someone will tell someone else, and then someone will tell someone else, and then someone will tell someone else. And that number will move. And a lot of times I don't even know it's moving until I log off. But then I'll go and come back and the numbers are still climbing. Because there's a word and there's a messenger that's giving a message. And so people use their disciples. I call their little finger the disciples. And they click, they tag, they share, and they share the good news. So spikes happen all the time. And so for me, I just thank God for the uncommon favor that he has given me.
So there's been a spike on my subscribers in the past 7 months.
Right.
That the Lord has chosen to breathe on this. And when I look at my analytics, I can see where my spikes were in as it relates to subscribers and views. And I see the spikes coming around certain times.
Right.
And, you know, I know that analytics are important and are an important driver, but I think more than anything, whether we know our analytics or can log on, log off,
Right.
that people have needs and we should have microphones.
Right.
And the microphones being, microphones and cameras, that being our cell phones.
Yeah.
Do you plan your chronicles?
No.
You just go live and talk.
Yeah. I was in California, and there was a young lady that met me in the bathroom. She says, I just want to see what you do in the morning. I wake up in the morning and I worship. That's the first thing that I do. And then I say, what do you want me to tell your people? I ask him first. And before I go live at 7:30, he has given it to me. This is not anything that I plan, practice, or have a series. It is a revelation from Yahweh at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And what happens is before I log on and I ask him, what do you want me to tell your people? There's sometimes, and people do not understand, sometimes I'll write, I'll close my eyes and I'll write, and then I'll come through and there's a message.
So your platform has garnered a lot of attention.
Yes.
You have very wisely flipped it into brick and mortar.
Yes.
Are they still complementing each other? Like, is your audience on Sunday morning still growing because of what you're doing online?
It is. It is. In fact, we're going through a transitional stage right now, and it is still growing. I think my audience, if I have to be honest with you, women. And women really are hurting. I'm not negating men are not hurting, but women, the audience are women. And when they can find something relatable, they want someone to feed what they're dealing with. And me being a woman who grew up in a domestic violence environment, I understand the majority of the stuff that these women are going through. And so that's the draw. And so even in the brick and mortar, we have the women. And they are hurting and they want something. And a lot of times what happens is when we have conferences, they come from everywhere. And I believe they trust the God in me, but they also can see that I'm relatable. I think a lot of times what happens just in ministry alone, people want to relate. They want to know that you've been through. If you tell me about the Lord, then you should have an experience that you could share with me what he's done for you, right? We're overcomers by the blood of the Lamb and the word of our testimony, right? And so speaking to this audience and speaking to the women about what they're going through, it becomes relatable. So they keep coming back. And I keep saying, I'm honored to serve.
You mentioned the domestic violence. Tell us who you are. Tell us how you grew up. Tell us why that is, or where that was inserted in your life, the domestic violence piece, living now in Charlotte. Talk to us about how you grew up, mom, dad, etc.
I think that's one of the things, if I have to say, and I'm going to get back to that. A lot of people look at me like, who is she? You know, I had a blogger say, well, where did she come from? She was in this car. And then after she got in this car, I thank God for my pedigree. My mom, she was a prophetess. She's deceased. And my father was a bishop. He's deceased. But we grew up under Bishop Huey L. Rogers. And so I grew up with a father. He was a bishop, but he was a very serious abusive man. He was an abuser. And that's the relatability with me and a lot of women. And I grew up in a household when my father he was a serious provider. And I grew up in a household where, unfortunately, I didn't see the best in a connection with a father and a mother. My father hated me. Out of 4, I was the youngest, and I was one that my father couldn't stand. So I endured a lot of abuse protecting my siblings and my mom. And the domestic...
As the youngest, you were doing the protecting.
Yes. Yes. As the youngest, I was doing the protecting.
Why?
I believe it is because I had a relationship, not saying that my siblings didn't, but I had a relationship with my mom, and my mother kind of protected me a little bit more. And she would always say, I'm protecting your gift. I'm protecting the anointing on your life. And I believe that there was a relationship of trust because of the anointing that I was carrying young. And I believe by me protecting her, she really was protecting me. We just had a bond that we were protecting each other against my dad. And so when my father would have my mother crawling on the floor like a dog, and he would say, call her ugly. And I would say, no, we're not going to do that. And I would come to my mother's aid a lot of times. I would come to my mom's aid when my father was tall. He was almost 7 foot tall. He wore a size 14 shoe. My mother was 5'2". And I remember one day he kicked her in the face. And he kicked her in the face while her job was to take off his shoes. And she went down to take off his shoes, and he kicked her in the face. And as he kicked her in the face, she went back, and I never will forget the blood fell on me. And so I developed a love to help women.
Mm-hmm.
So this is where it came from, the passion.
I'm seeing it.
To help women. I don't want women to live a life that God said, this is not love.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And so he put me in an arena to help women because that is where I came from, protecting women.
Did this confuse your relationship of God? And let me say this.
I know where you're coming from.
Well, they might not.
Mm-hmm.
So you get a father that is a bishop.
Yes.
And he's being abusive to his wife.
Yes.
He has his baby girl having to defend her mother and siblings.
Yeah.
I believe that our first imprint or vision of God, understanding of God, should be from our Father.
Right.
Did that not confuse you?
It didn't. And here's why. I heard the voice of God at the age of 6. We were in Fairmont, West Virginia, and my family couldn't get down off of the hill. And at the age of 6, I heard the Lord say, get the salt, put it on all 4 tires, and you guys are going to roll off. Because it was a snowstorm. Who knows that at 6? But I heard the Holy Spirit. So I heard the voice of God very young. And I never will forget when I made a conscious decision that was not love. And I made a conscious decision that was my mother's choice.
What wasn't love?
The way he displayed it.
Okay.
You can't say you love someone and you're an abuser. You can't say that you know the God of love and you're not displaying the fruits of the Spirit. So I didn't get confused. I began to differentiate between my father and my mother. And I found love through my mother because I knew that wasn't love because it was too painful.
Mm-hmm.
So all of the experiences that I saw, I had to make a conscious decision through the leading of the Lord, who is love. God is love. So there was a lesson always in my ear gates. There was a lesson. That's not it. That's it. And so my mom, what she did is she began to introduce me, or she told me to watch certain individuals who did have a healthy marriage. So she introduced a vantage point, but I already knew who God was through my own self at a young age. So I was able to say, no, I refuse to have that. That's my mother's choice.
So I'm going to ask you a question. You don't have to answer the question, but a lot of women and young men who are abused end up living a life of rebellion.
Right.
They become loose in the streets. Their sexuality is challenged. They can become nemesis in their neighborhoods. Did you ever go through that phase?
No. I didn't go through that phase. Unfortunately, that happens to a lot of people. But I think what I did do, I became, they used to call him a man eater, but I became very aware of men. And when I say that, I did not handle them right.
Handle men right?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
When I say that, I say I didn't take any of them serious. Men were not my problem. They were not my solution either. They were toys. Because in my subconscious, I didn't want to be like my mom. I didn't want to be this soft woman that took abuse. I was about it. And when I say that, growing up in Brooklyn, I didn't take anybody serious.
Men or anybody?
Men specifically.
When you say that you
because it was almost like a defense mechanism.
So when you say that you didn't know how to handle them, are you saying that was a respect issue? Or I think you said, did you say they were toys?
They were toys, so I didn't respect them.
No, I said, did that mean that you did not know how to respect them?
I did not know how to respect them because I didn't think I had to.
So what did you do with the toy?
Because I was a kid. I dated them all.
Okay.
I was promiscuous.
A boy toy.
Yeah, I was promiscuous.
Okay.
Right? And so my promiscuity, in my mind, that was a level of control. Right? And so my promiscuity and having a level of control, they did what I wanted. Mm-hmm. And that's just the truth of the matter. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So because they did what I wanted, I felt I was in control.
So how did that affect you later in life? Because if you're getting what you want as a young woman, I mean, would not the trend continue?
When God says stop, you stop. And what happened is, here we go again. The Lord had to gut me like a fish. He did. Because I was very promiscuous. Not with women, men. And so the Lord said, you are going to stop. And I did. I was married not just once, not twice, not three. This is my fourth husband.
You think you got it right this time?
I'm praying.
Wait. We're not going to move past that. I mentioned that Legacy Conversations works because of transparency.
Oh, yeah.
That's a pretty honest statement.
Hey, you asked for honesty.
And I want it, and I'll take more if it is there.
Sure.
But praying a fourth husband, and are you praying for yourself, the marriage? Are you praying for humility?
I'm praying for both of us. Because when you have two individuals coming together, whether you are on third, fourth, fifth husband or wife, marriage is a collision of two histories. And so you have two individuals coming together. The difficult thing for me is I'm a female pastor. My husband is a bishop. So there's different dynamics that does make it difficult from time to time. But the bottom line is when you love someone, you got to go through challenges, right? And so when I say I pray I got it right, so far it's been 7 years. And so I have been with Bishop Fred. I've been with him through ups and downs, highs and lows. And so we're going to keep loving each other and we'll pray and see how it goes. Because truth of the matter is there are people who be together 40, 50 years and still get divorced. And there are people who will be together because the divorce rate in the church is high. However, I do want him and I to work. Because the other ones, I didn't want to work. I didn't care if they worked or not. I could care less. But when you find somebody that you love, you do care.
I'm going to speak for me.
Sure.
It surprises me that you would even give love or marriage another chance. Why?
Because my cousin said I'm in love with love. I'm in love with love. I believe that there is a level of me that does want the happily ever after. But just like the majority of African American women out here, we are taking a gamble because truth of the matter is everyone is broken, right? Everyone is broken, but statistically proven, a lot of Black men are damaged. And so with my damaging and his damaging and everyone around us who are damaged, you have to come together and you have to make something fit. You have to make it work because it's a desire. And so I do want the happily ever after. My sisters have it, my brothers have it. And the funny thing about it is they all have it. I'm the only one that struggle with it. So if there is a residue or if it is something from me protecting my mom, then I'll give you that because I am the one that had several marriages. My brother had one. My sister had one. My other sister had one. I'm the only one that went through a plethora of husbands, and I'm not afraid to say that. And I think there was a level of me even in my subconscious that said, if it gets hard, I'm running because I'm not going to endure that, no matter what it looks like, because I believe it was a defense mechanism. One thing my husband said when he and I first got together, he said, keep your shoes on. I know you're a runner. He said, I'm going to make you take them off. So it took time. And it's still taking time.
Are they off? One off? Both?
One off. One off.
Is the other one near?
The other one is laced.
With a knot in it?
With two bunny ears. Yeah.
I hear
because you. It's not, the reality is it's scary. Right? Marriage is a scary thing.
So how do you abate that fear?
Prayer, therapy, and time. I am the pastor to tell you to have a Bible in one hand and a good psychiatrist in another. I believe in therapy.
I live by it.
You have to have it. Marriage is hard. Look at the statistics. I heard one pastor say marriage is like flies on a screen door. Some want to get in and some want to get out. And so I look at even you and your wife, you guys got years. I want that. Is it too late at 55? Maybe not. But there's a lot of work that has to be done. And I believe because of what I experienced even in my childhood, it causes me to look at marriage kind of differently because there is a fear there. And it took the right person to say, okay, I'm not going away. And so we thank God for patience on both parts.
Do you think if your mom and your father, I'm not talking about kids or whatever, because it's going to mess up the timeline. Do you think if mom were living in today, you think she would divorce?
Yes.
Because of the empowerment of women that has been given, or why do you think she would?
Well, I definitely know that she would have divorced because everyone gets tired. And even when my mom was at the latter part of their marriage, my father went to Africa, but he went to Africa with his mistress. And my mother prepared him for his trip, knowing where he was going. And at the time I was in New York and I was working for Scholastic's books. And she said, Jamila, Dad is going to Africa. Let's get him ready. And I'm like, get him ready? I'm not getting this ready for no trip, And because she would speak to me like that, I was her friend. And so they were filling up barrels. And so she said, would you get books? And I did it for my mom. And then he needed some linen shirts. And I saw her get him ready for his trip to Africa with his mistress.
How did you all know it was his mistress? Did he tell you?
We knew my father's mistress for 37 years of my parents' marriage. My father had a mistress for 22. I had a brother, he's 18, and my mother raised him. It's a wonder that I'm saying.
What do you mean?
It's a wonder that I'm saying.
What do you mean it's a wonder that you're saying?
Because of what I've gone through. I mean, again, it has an effect on you. And so my mom, my father had two mistresses when Marty got older, he had Annie, and we knew him. And he was preaching. And a child came out of it. And one day, my brother, James, knocked on the door. Hi, Dad. And my father left. And when he left, My mother raised James.
So there's an empowerment
Yeah.
that women have today that was not there.
Absolutely.
How have you been empowered? You see, let me just tell you what I
Sure.
see. I see that you had to take it.
I had to take it.
Who'd you take it from?
I think a lot of women take it. I think we the chief, the cook, and the bottle wash. Women have to take a lot. However, there's a grace given when there's an assignment. And so even though I'm taking a lot or I've taken a lot, there is a grace given because the assignment of my life. And so I am empowered to show women that you don't have to take it. And do I get in trouble for it? Absolutely, all the time. I am not the pastor to tell a woman to stay unhappily married. Not going to do it. Not going to do it. Because that's not what it was supposed to be. It wasn't designed for that.
You think the 4 marriages prior to the one you have has caused you to have that position? If you don't want this, if you're not happy, leave. Do you think the 4 marriages?
I think seeing my mom, because she took it. And in my mind, I'm not going to take it. So then when I got married, I already had a perspective of what I was going to take and what I was not. And you supposed to take something, but you ain't got to take all of it. Of course, there's ups and downs and highs and lows, but there's a more excellent way. And I would love for not just women, anybody that wants to be in anything, for it to be displayed and shown the way the Lord says it's supposed to look like. But love is skewed.
Yeah. I guess we could go back to the whole love piece.
Yeah.
And the fear that's there, and love cast out all fear.
Perfect love casts out all fear.
Yeah. Okay. And I think we can go there, but let me move on. Bishop Fred, did he have prior marriages?
Yes.
Okay.
He was married one time.
What is it that attracted you to him and him to you?
He was my sister's best friend for years. He was actually her apostle. And when he married my sister and her husband, Bishop Fred used to always talk to my dad when my dad was alive. So there was a history there. When my sister got married, I did not come to her wedding because I was in another country on an assignment. And he was married at that time. When he got divorced, my sister made the introduction. And it was just something about the way he spoke. I felt safe. I felt safe. And the fact that he had a relationship with God helped. Because that's important to me.
Of course. Why do you think that, what is it about Jamila that he liked that he would even ask you for your hand?
My humor.
You're a funny lady?
I am.
So I don't know you, but you seem to be very austere. You know, you
I'm
seem
comical.
to be.
I am comical. I'm actually a comedian more than anything, but I'm comical. And one of the things that his mother said is, I've never heard my son laugh like that. And so it was the humor. It'd come out. And so it was the laughter, because I love to laugh.
All right. So I didn't realize I'd be sitting across talking to you. It was Bishop Greg Davis that introduced me to your ministry.
Yes.
I didn't realize that you were the lady that was staking your claim.
Yes.
And if I see, I'm going to beat.
Right.
How did all that happen?
You ain't paying me enough for that.
I ain't paying you enough for that. Well,
No.
I guess I could go online and Google it.
Actually, no, you can't, because nobody knows the story. Right?
But I'm talking about that. I'm not asking you about the details.
No one knows the story, but I did stake my claim. And this is why. Because I think a lot of times what happens when you are in ministry, especially if you are deemed a first lady, there are a lot of things that first ladies deal with that a lot of people don't know. They don't know. I remember one time my husband was preaching and the lady didn't have any panties on. And he was getting ready to pray, and she dropped it like this in my church. Legs open, nothing on. And I think first ladies go through a lot. And I think at some point, we have enough. And you could have an amazing husband or you could have an amazing wife. There are people who do not respect marriage, and that's what you saw. You saw someone that did not respect marriage. And one of the things that was said that no one doesn't know is, I know you got married again, but so? That's the part people didn't hear. That's the part people didn't know. Do not disrespect marriage. And I think sometimes what happens is, sometimes women feel like it's fair game because it's a shortage.
A shortage of men. Mm-hmm.
Sometimes women, we live in an era where women sing songs. I'll take your man. Right? That's a song. So if people don't respect marriage, then someone has to stand up for their own marriage. Mm-hmm. Right? And so with that being said, I think that's the part of me, as wrong as I was, because Bishop Liston Page got me. As wrong as I was, I stated my claim. And even though it was not done in a tactful mannerism, God forgive me, but the saints ain't so merciful. And so I did that. And unfortunately, yes, it went viral. However, I will always stand up for my marriage. Always.
Okay, so 2 questions that are kissing cousins. Mm-hmm. Did you feel like you were still due your response and that what you said was not wrong before Bishop Liston?
It was wrong when I walked off the pulpit.
And did you know that?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it was like, oh. You know, it was like, oh. You know, and so at that time, even before not just Bishop Page, bishops around the world that I will not even mention that are so prominent until most people admire them. Yes, sir. That's all it was. Yes, sir. And so I don't mind being corrected, especially when I'm wrong.
Was that just a bad day for you?
I think what it was is I didn't know how to handle it. And I'm gonna be honest with you. Because things happen and it's trial and error, right? I didn't know how to respond to that because I could not comprehend or understand the disrespect. You know, your wife is beautiful, you know, anywhere in the world. She'll let somebody disrespect her husband, right? And so I think I just couldn't wrap my head around, what? Oh, hell. You know, so there it is a couple years later.
Boy, I want to ask you a question. So I'm going to ask.
It's legacy conversation.
Yes. Okay. And, you know, I think that this is an opportunity to redeem a portion of our legacy. Yeah. Because, again, the whole point is, how have we discovered or established it with, you know, people's victories, failures, successes, etc., triumphs. I almost saw you.
Oh Lord, what I do now?
No. I saw you. Mm-hmm. And okay, so there are 2 viral moments that I know of. This is the one about your husband and the giving peace sign, etc. Yeah. The other one we'll get to in a minute. Mm-hmm. It looked like in the first occasion that you were toying between what you said and what you said was, I'll beat your ass. Were you toying with that? Like, should I say this? Should I let this girl from New York say this? That's holy. No, but this girl, what was going on through your mind? Wait, 1 second. I know it's a good episode. I got 2 words I want to drop on you. Thank you. Seriously. Thank you for your support. Now, I was out the other day and somebody asked me about how it is that they can actually support legacy conversations. Do y'all know what? I do this for you because my heart is to help you leave something that's going to be lasting and really help you get some tips and tricks on how other people have done it. So I'm looking for your help. I need your help. Got some big ideas, some things coming. All the giving information is there. PayPal, Venmo, all that kind of stuff. It's all there. It's also in the description. Choose whichever one you want to do. Would you help me help you continually? Last thing, if that's not on your heart, they say in church or mine, would you please continue to like, comment, share, and subscribe? Now, it's that sharing that really helps because what that says is that you like what you're getting here. You want to share with somebody else. All right, back to the episode.
At that time, I'm going to be honest with you, there wasn't any toying. It wasn't any toying. I think it was at that moment. You ever play something bad? Baby, I played it all back. I played back the conversation. I played it all back. See your wife over there nodding her head. Baby, I played it all back. I played it all back. I played it back, forward, front. I played it back. And sometimes when you start playing stuff, right? See, you start playing stuff back and you just be like, oh, hell no. And so it was a playback. It was that moment of playback. Mm-hmm. And that's what it was. It was the moment of playback.
What'd your husband say?
You have to ask him.
Okay.
You have to ask him. You have to ask him. Because people have so many opinions. And people want to know. It's social media. Social media will create a narrative, whether it's true or not. But the good thing about it is, bad news or good news, it helps the algorithms and the analytics.
After what did you do the Sunday after?
I got on a flight. Well, Bishop called me. I got on a flight. That week, I had to go to the Joint College of Bishops. And so with that, I had to go to Jacob. And it was like,
because you knew they were going to be.
Baby.
Have a opinion.
But I will say this. We have an amazing bishop, but Bishop Coletta Vaughn and Bishop Pat McKinstry, they held me up. And my bishop, they held me up. They held us both up. And so at this point in time, I have to go and I'm like, because that's the first thing people see. And so I'm with all these bishops and that's it just happened. And then after that, Bishop Page called me upstairs and had a phone call with a very prominent bishop, who I won't say. And then the next day I got on a flight and the healing process happened because I was wrong.
The next Sunday you were standing in your pulpit, what did you say? Whether it was 2 Sundays later, 3 Sundays?
I really don't remember what I said, to be honest with you. All I know is I was humble.
Got it.
Yeah, I was humble.
Got it.
Because you're supposed to learn from your mistakes. Mm-hmm. And you're not supposed to be prideful. You're supposed to be humble. Mm-hmm. And I was humble. However, the wonderful thing about going back on the pulpit, I was with my congregation who knows my heart, right? And so they were very supportive and they held both of us up. And I think a lot of times what happens is, people want to know. But years later, we're still here. And so what you need to know is we're still here.
How long ago was that?
Oh, Lord. I believe it was maybe 3-4 years now? Yeah.
So I know of 2 viral moments. We'll get to the
I have
one.
quite and that's another thing. I have quite a few, and I think people don't realize I don't be doing this intentionally. It just kind of happened. So what you got?
I was just going to ask you, was there another one that stood out that much?
And I have to be honest with you, there's for me, there are few viral moments. There are few. And it's not that I believe that there's a level of me that's very interesting to some people, I guess. But I did my conference in She Favor and went viral because I told my husband, oh, I'm going to rock your world. I'll blow you back. And I said something to that effect.
You said I'll blow your back out?
Something like that to the effect. But
I know men can get their backs blown out, but I understand.
If you do it right. But the marriage bed is under fire.
Well.
They laughing. I told you I was a comedian side. And it was my husband.
I'm gonna keep my back though.
And it was my husband. And I think sometimes what happens in relationships, especially in the church, I think people are not used to seeing this type of camaraderie in leadership. I think a lot of times it makes people squeamish. I remember when I kissed my husband in the church, and I had people leave the church when I got married. Because I remember I kissed my husband and someone says, I didn't come to see her kiss her husband. I had people say, I don't watch the Chronicles anymore because you have a husband. So people have all kinds of reasons. Mm-hmm. But I think people are not used to the camaraderie of this type of fellowship amongst leaderships. I believe, maybe not doing it like myself, but I believe that leadership should show more intimacy. I believe that bishops and first ladies or lady pastors and their husbands, I believe that they should show more because we live in a society where nothing is hidden.
Were you addressing a matter in that moment? I mean, you have your shoes on. The only thing I didn't see was Vaseline.
Oh, you talking about the time with at She Favor?
Yes.
No, I wasn't addressing a matter. It was a camaraderie between he and I. We have a verbiage and a conversation. And so I think what happened, I think people got offended because I said it. And again, where I said it.
You said what? When
I was talking about, when you leave here, I'm gonna rock your world, that sort of thing that was in She Favor. And again, if you know the relationship or if you're ever around us or if you come to our church, we're very playful. We're very playful.
And I think there ought to be room and space for that.
I don't think they're ready for that.
Every married couple ought to be able to express themselves, but I also think that the pulpit is...
It's a sacred desk. I get it.
No. That's not what I was going to say. It can keep others from being So if it is you and your wife and y'all are doing whatever, then it's okay. But if it's me as a pastor and my wife, then I'm not supposed to do that.
But this is the problem. The marriage bed is undefiled. Husbands, love your wives as Christ loved the church, right? We all know all of that, right? But how come we can't display?
I'm with you.
Well, I'm sure they ain't. But how come that's not displayed? How come you don't see the camaraderie of these types of fellowships in the pulpit?
I think it'd keep the heat in the marriage. And I think that the people take on the personality of what they see in the pulpit. Yeah. I remember one time, I start dressing in a certain way. Next thing I know, everybody has dressing like me. There was a piece of jewelry that I know of another pastor that he started wearing. Next thing, all the deacons have the same. So I think that same principle ought and does apply, that if I am showing affection in a healthy, non-offensive sexual way, I think that would get on the people.
I don't know. I think, honestly, in our faith, they're not ready for that. They're not ready for it because we have presented everything so religiously. Everything. Holiness is right. I get it. But why is the divorce rate so high in the church? Why? But they need to see it. And I'm not saying that everybody should do it, but I would love to see bishops hug their wives and, grab them and hold them in the church. Or, this this is normal. But it's so abnormal to see pastors play around with their wives and first ladies. It's just like, why are y'all kissing? We had people say, well, what y'all kissing for? Y'all trying too hard. Okay. It's just, for some reason, it's just not welcome.
Baby, will you come here, please?
Go on, baby. Come on. Ooh, 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 ooh.
Right, so
drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot.
I want you to sit here.
Oh
I'll
my
take a
gosh.
knee.
Wait,
I'll
what?
take a
Okay.
All right, so put a mic closer.
Yes.
So,
Look, I wasn't ready. Go ahead.
you look fine. So, listening to what she's saying, how would you categorize? Listen to what she's saying. How would you categorize our marriage? Like, do you think that we are? I think it'd be way more different if we're me. You're a little bit more reserved.
I am. I think when we are in the context of relationship, seminars and conferences, then we do have that playful,
Right.
We talk about sex, we talk about intimacy but you are so on it. It's some type of separation that happens once we're in the confines of a Sunday morning experience when it shouldn't be. So, but he will. If we're in service together, he'll grab my hand. Look at that.
Right. But this is what I'm saying. It's
I knew it.
If marriage is honorable,
Right.
then what happened to the honor? Right? I think we care so much about what people think.
So true.
We care too much. And there is power in not giving a damn. It is. And we care too much in I've never seen so many single bishops, pastors. It's a plethora of them. I can right? And I believe that if we could just show something that, we can have fun too.
That's true.
We could, my wife is sexy. My husband is sexy. The church isn't ready for that.
They want it. You don't think they want it?
It doesn't look like it.
They Nicodemuses.
Yeah.
So, do you think that our congregation, when we were gathering on Sundays, do you think that our public display of affection affected or translated to them?
Yes, I do. Absolutely.
Healthy way.
In a healthy way.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Which is why you said your congregation, it was no issue for them.
Right.
Because that's who you all,
right.
That's your culture.
Right. And a lot of people don't understand is that when you have a congregation that really knows you, when everybody's like, oh my gosh, they're like, You understand? Because there is a relationship that you see in the house that you don't see online. So I think that if I had to have a takeaway, I really wish that there would be more opportunities for a public display of love and affection. And I'm going to tell you what happens when pastors get divorced, the church hurts.
Yes.
Because they're shocked because it looked one way in the congregation, but it was totally different at home. So the couples are just not hurting. The congregation is hurting. And so sometimes I'll be like, man, I just threw Fred down the flight of stairs. They just be laughing because they know how I am. The other day it was Bible study and I was like, I just ate a whole piece. He said, no, you didn't. You ate it over it. So we let them see the reality of who we are. So they won't be faking of who we are. And so, I've been born for transparency. Yeah, he gets on my damn nerves. He gets on my nerves. But that's reality. That's the marriage.
Reality.
Do I get on your nerve?
Yes.
Wait, it's the way she said it. She was like, girl, you did that nice. She said, yes. Because if I told you that it was rainbows and flowers all the time, I would be lying.
Right.
And if I ever met a couple that says, we ain't never have a fight, run. Because something ain't right.
There's been so many times we on the way to
I'm
church.
gonna give the church point. I don't know what
The church
for.
finger.
You about to finish it up with me.
Yeah.
I remember there have been some times that when we get to church, it's been conversation on the way to church, and you get there like, hey, God bless you. Hey, God bless you. You know, and because I believe that everybody should not be in your marriage unless it's the right time.
Right.
You know, and I don't think that they ought to determine when the right time is.
Well,
I think we left so much on the table and that we gave up so much. And I'm not talking about in a relational way.
Right.
I'm talking about in a life kind of way. You know what? I don't really want to demonstrate this. We such and such this. And it can be life with chains.
I think it's the whole religion thing.
Yep. That religious spirit. Yep.
That religion thing. And it gets on my nerves. And if they would just understand the liberation of who Christ is, I think a lot of people would be okay. Like, I remember I went viral. We were dancing. And people were offended. I'm like, are you serious? Let me tell y'all something. And I think people don't know that there is a reality, and religious people don't let you be real. Religious people don't let you be adults. Religious people will tell you what you can't do. I'm free. I'm not loose. Whom the Son set free is free indeed. Do you know how many people running, shouting, bound? It's people, whether they like it or not, they can't stand me because I'm free. I'm free. Me dancing, they do it at home behind closed doors. And so, truth be told, what you do in the privacy of your home is fine. But don't get up before people and act like you are holier than thou. Yeah. And I think what happens is people, I think the draw, if we could say, people want real now. They want real.
It should be to me a rather not and a don't do.
Right.
So I'd rather not take a liberty with my wife.
Right.
Because it ain't gonna be salacious or it's not gonna be in this position where, you're gonna see what I see at home.
Right.
But if I choose not to, the choice ought to be mine.
Right. But the good thing about, for me, Unity Charlotte International is our church. They have a relationship with us. They understand us. I could be going up to my office and I'm like, I don't feel like talking to him today. Like, they start laughing. Then he starts laughing. And then at the end of the day, we're good. Why? They know us. They've been with us for years. So I think even sometimes when we do that, we do it around people who know us, who've been in our house. You understand? And so I think sometimes what happens when you go back to what is the draw? Well, what is it? Yeah, it's divine favor. I get it. But there is a draw that people want to see real. They want reality. They're drawn to the reality. And they're pushing back from the religion. And I'm not afraid to be transparent. I like it.
Do you think this will go viral? This conversation?
When you log off, watch the numbers.
When I log off what?
Your wife did it. Look, come on, girl. When you log off, watch the numbers. That's all I got to say.
Okay.
Because something comes with who the Lord has created. Right? And so when you log off, people, I'm going to watch that. You know why? Because people want tea. Hot, cold, lukewarm, they want to sip it. They want tea. Now, the kitchen is closed in some areas, but the tea drinkers are always watching and waiting, especially if you have a person that's always having a viral moment. Transparent people will always have a viral moment.
I think the reason why I was asking is because I believe your name brings attention. Don't get me wrong.
I
I
understand.
believe you sitting right there that there have been some looky-loos or will be some looky-loos
Yeah.
that just want to hear what you're going to say.
Yeah.
Hear what you're going to do.
Yeah.
I know when the clips get done, the way it's going to be edited,
That's
it's,
fine.
it's going to look, be an invitation to those
Yeah.
who know
Right.
you from a viral moment.
Right. Right.
But I don't think it will go as
Mhm.
viral
Mhm.
because we talking about
Yeah.
stuff that needs to stuff that needs to be said.
Mhm. Mhm.
And to me,
Mhm.
I don't think that those share buttons
Mhm.
will be hit
Mhm.
as many times
Mhm.
because me and you didn't get into a fight.
Right.
Because my wife didn't go off on you, knock the camera,
No,
knock the
I got
mic
it.
down, or anything that's like that.
Mhm.
What does it say that a lie goes around the world twice before truth can ever even lace up its shoe?
Wow. Wow.
I think that that'll be one of these moments. But what I also hope
Mhm.
is that people will see who the prophetess is. And we'll see how big your heart is.
Yeah.
And we'll see how
They don't want to see that.
transparent you are.
People don't want to see your heart.
I get it.
I
get it.
preach something called the spirit of Eliab.
If it ain't but one person, though, that's what I hope. Go ahead.
Yeah. I preach something called the spirit of Eliab. And Eliab looked the part, but didn't have the heart. David did. And I think people don't care about your heart. They don't care about your heart. I think people don't know me. I'm a quagmire. I'm a rubric. I'm strange. But I also think that people want tea. They want the drama. They want it. If I jumped over, if I bust you in the head with this glass, and then your wife said,
What I
"You
was
gonna
just
put my
saying,
husband in
yeah.
there," and then me and her fighting, and we scrapping, and like, "Oh yeah," but won't go to the church. They ain't going to nobody's church. And I think because I'm so different and people don't know me, they have an opinion of me. There's an opinion about her. They don't know me. Bishop Coletta Vaughn said it best. She said, "You're sheltered." She said, "You got moats, barbed wires, crocodile. You don't let people in." And it's not that I don't let people in. I'm very cautious because I know people like mess. I don't want mess. I want ministry. And I think what happens now, we live in a society of mess, from everything from politics to the church. It's just mess. But the word said, "I bless the peacemaker, not the mess maker."
Anything you would ever take back?
I would take back that moment. Hell yeah.
Which moment?
That
She
moment
favors?
where I went, no, not she favorite. That first moment I went viral, I would take that back, Lord, because whenever it's out in social media, stays in social media. You can't take it back.
Of course.
So
You
that
would
moment
take
I
that one
would.
back.
Yeah, that moment I would. And there's certain things in my life that I would definitely take back.
And that's what I mean. Wherever.
Yeah. For sure. One of the things that I definitely wish that I had is that mother, because I have these days where it's so hard, where I don't have that. I don't have parents, I don't have grandparents, and so when I have these moments where I'm like, oh God, here we go again. They staying outside the church. I would love to have those moments, but I don't. So I become, it's something that I say about myself, I'm a spiritual camel. And so when a camel has water in the hump, it yarns and it pulls the water up and it replenishes itself and then it swallows it again. That's why it spits a lot. And so I replenish myself and then I keep on going.
She favors.
Uh-huh.
Were you getting the house right? Like, how did you end up in that moment? Were you addressing somebody? Were you establishing order in the house? Had something happened?
No, we were getting, I think it was Lisa, Lisa Knowles Reynolds would get ready to sing. And I was giving acknowledgement to everybody because she took her final bow. So I'm not going to do she favor for God knows when until the Lord says to do it again. And I was acknowledging everybody, and I was looking at my husband, and he looked good. He looked great. And he looked sexy. And I let it be known. Because he looked sexy to me, right? And so that's where that came from. And even though some people found it offensive, the people who had a problem found it offensive. But the women who understood matrimony, some of them say, "Oh, you girl, you better go ahead." I had one bishop say to me, "How do you keep him in a level of excitement? My job is to make him 9 foot tall. That's my job."
Did your church grow, or was there addition or subtraction after that moment?
No.
Stayed the same.
Ask me after the summertime, because every church has subtraction during the summertime.
When did that happen?
That was in June.
Oh, so it literally just happened.
Yeah, it's June. And so ask me when everybody come back to church, because everybody leaves church around summer. Your wife is laughing. Everybody on vacation. If the church is empty. Ask me in September. Ask me in November. Ask me in December. Ask me in New Year's. You can't ask me now because everybody on vacation. Everybody leave.
I get it.
You know? So
last moments. What do you want to say? What's on your heart? Any correction that needs to be made to somebody on the other side of that camera? An edit that you care to make about yourself? What would you say?
No, I really wish people would get to know me. Look at your wife. She's so cute. I do. I think they have a wrong about me. And I think people try to destroy what they don't understand. And they don't understand me. They don't understand how I came to be. They think that I just jumped up out of a car. They think that, it's not a bad thing to be self-made. I didn't make myself. God did. And when you look at me, please be inspired that God did this. And so if he could use a girl from Brooklyn and shake her off and says, "I want to use her," he could do the same thing for you. And I think people don't know me. And I think that's why I am considered, because this is what I get. A lot of people don't get it. I am probably one of the most disliked persons in the gospel because people don't know me. And if you got to know me, if you could just get away from what you want to believe and how people view me on social media and really get to see me, I really am, I got a good heart. I'm cool. And Bishop Greg said, I'm cool people, but I think people have a wrong perspective about me because they don't know me.
How can someone get to know you?
5323 East Independence Boulevard in Charlotte, North Carolina. Come to my church and just sit and watch. The fruit bears witness. But they should also trust the consistency in me, because I'm consistent every day at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm there.
That's dope.
Consistency tells the story. And the fruit is what you're supposed to watch.
Chronicles, that's a huge audience, and you're reaching so many on that digital platform.
Yeah.
A couple things. How can people actually connect or see Chronicles? Right. I want to put some more to those numbers. Okay. And then I know we've talked offline that you've got a couple of books, more than one, I know, not exactly sure. Tell us how we can do both. Okay. Well, you could go to www.carchronicles.org. Everything is there. And the link will take you right to Facebook. The link will take you to TikTok, and it'll take you to YouTube. You could just Google Car Chronicles Movement. You could Google it, it'll come on up. I've written 3 books: A Needle in a Haystack, Finding Love Amongst the Rubble, The Pocketbook, a small book with powerful posts, and The Death of the Angry Black Woman. How do you spell your last name? Gooden, like Gooden, plenty. Thank you so much for being here today. Yeah. Thanks for sitting here and being totally you. Candid. I don't feel like you edited yourself. No. I think that we got a chance to see and get to know some of you. Yeah. You're very multifaceted. And I know that this is going to bless many people. Yeah. And I hope that it opens eyes to who you really are. Yeah. That they embrace that you're just different, and that God has a bouquet of roses, calla lilies, whatever it is, different sizes, different colors. Right. And that they look at you as being the color that you are. Thank you again for sharing. This has been another episode. How I've enjoyed this lady.
The lady in the car.
The lady in the car. Okay, there it is. Yeah. Do you have any other conferences, books, product that you'd like to share with us? Name of your church?
Yeah, the church, Unity Charlotte International. We're located at 5323 East, Independence Boulevard in Charlotte, North Carolina. Wednesday night, we have something called Drive-By Bible Study. Drive-By Bible Study is like 1 hour. If you come at 8:30, we are gone. And so that's on Wednesdays at 7. And then at 11 o'clock, we have service. I will be in Newark, New Jersey, August the 28th at the Robert Treat Hotel and the Crystal Ballroom. I love Newark, New Jersey. I was part of Newark for 18 years in education. And so I have that coming up. But I promise you, if you would just allow the Lord to show you me, and not allow your flesh to see that I'm not what people portray me to be. I am the crazy, peculiar lady in the car.
Well, another episode of Legacy Conversations. This was a good one. This was a little spicy sometimes, but refreshing in others. I'm Jasper Williams III. I'm signing off as the host of Legacy Conversations. I'm signing off. May the Lord walk with you. What does Bishop David say? Go with God.
Go with God. Yeah, go with God.
Till next time.
Amen. Thank you.